Hello and welcome back to Seconds Out. My name is Ayman Khan. I'm joined by the White Rhino Dave Allen to talk boxing. Dave, sir, how you doing?
I'm very well, thanks, mate. Are you good?
Yeah, very good. Very good to be speaking to you once again. First of all, let's jump into yourself. I saw a very well-timed post from yourself on Instagram saying, "Can't wait to remind the people who I am around the time of the Fabio Wardley fight against Michael Polite Coffee." A little bit of coincidental timing there, Dave, from yourself.
Yeah, I saw after the fight they mentioned Clark, Adelaide, and Dakers. Yeah, hopefully not forgot the. I'm not even the oldest one of that group. To be fair, I'm around the average age of them. I've just been around a lot longer. So yeah, I'm boxing in May, and then after that, join the party. I think they're good fighters, but I think I've improved a lot since I was last on the big stage. Definitely matured a lot, in good shape, and I think I can definitely get involved in that mix. So looking forward to it.
A lot of people took that as a very quick stoppage from Howard Foster against when in terms of Fabio Wardley and Coffee. Did you feel that way, and did you feel that you saw anything that maybe might have given you a challenge if you do fight Wardley in the ring at one point?
I think Wall is a brilliant athlete and he can punch a bit, but he's not. He's really novice. He's really novice. Fraser Clark licking his lips, Dakers as well with their amateur experience, and me with my experience. There's lots of holes in him in Wardley's game.
Mm.
Like he's pretty pretty average really, but he can punch and he's tough. He's a great athlete, so he's our man to beat. But you see flaws in him. Yeah, whether I'm the man or whether they are to beat him is a different question. But I hope to find out at some point this year.
Which of the current heavyweight crop coming through, the ones that you're often in the mix with when it comes to the names around, do you feel is the biggest challenge to you?
I think they're all a challenge. They're all hard fights, mate. They're all massive men, and they've all got different attributes. I don't think the current crop coming through now is as good as the ones that I was competing with 4 or 5. I was watching Dylan White. Um, I don't think they're as good as David Price, to be honest.
Mhm.
David Price gets a lot of stick, but David Price was good. It was really good. So I don't know. But I'm not that they won't go on to be better than them, but I just think currently, um, I don't think they're as good. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to say too much, but I'm confident if I get a shot at Wardley and I get it soon, while he's still very much in his novice stage, I can beat him.
Mhm. Just quickly sticking on Wardley, look, potentially Sol Dacres next, potentially Fraser Clark next. You feel that he'll come through those two tests if those two fights were pitched to him?
I think well, the Fraser Clark fight ain't happening next. Fraser Clark's the matchmaking of Fraser Clark. There's nothing that has been matched with that gives me any confidence that the Wardley fight will be next.
Hmm.
You don't box six plums and then box for the British title against Fabio Wardley. No disrespect in terms of plums, but he's not had a challenge, has he? He's not had a challenge at all. You don't go from boxing at that standard to say I'm going to watch Fabio Wardley. And if he does, I think he'll make a mistake because he just can't do it. He can't afford to do that. Dacres only had 6 fights, but a lot of amateur experience. I think Dacres is probably the best of the bunch coming through. Uh, Adelaide, Clark, and Dacres. I think Dacres may be the best of the three. So I make Wardley a favourite of beating all three, but people, obviously I get a lot of stick, to be honest. I'm a lot better than people think. Um, I was sparring the kid the other day who sparred them all, so I was better than them all. I know I am.
Hmm.
It's about doing it in the ring for real. So I'm a different man now. I'm mature. I'm 31. When I was when I was coming through, I was 24, 25, 26. I was a kid.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm in business, so we'll see. I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, I think they're all good. Apart from Clark, he's very good. They all are. I don't want to give disrespect to any of them, but they're all very good. But stars make fights. So in saying that, I'd give myself a better chance of beating Wardley than I would Clark. But I think Wardley beats Clark. So that's boxing for you.
It sounds like a very interesting dynamic right now of the fights that will be hopefully potentially made, including yourself in that mix. Moving on, Dave, to last night's action, that being Anthony Joshua versus Jermaine Franklin. A lot of people kind of writing the obituary right now in terms of Anthony Joshua's career. Tell me, where do you stand off of the back of that performance from Joshua, where he was expected maybe to get rid of Franklin early?
I thought it was all right, to be honest. Franklin's good. Franklin's a lot better than people think. Post White, I thought Joshua would get Franklin out of there early. He came in 23 pound lighter. Franklin's good. He's really good. He's a really, really fighter. He's a really good survivor as well. I think Franklin, after 4 or 5, kind of realised Joshua was too big for him, and Franklin kind of went into survival mode a little bit. And I don't think there's many heavyweights that would get Franklin out of there, to be honest. Very few, if any. He's really, really good. I thought Joshua was all right. It weren't great. I think Joshua's early success and the way he was banging everyone out of there is like kind of biting him in the arse a bit now, because everyone's expecting that all the time. I thought it was okay, to be honest. It's the inactivity that's doing him. He's boxing once every 12 months, once every 10 or 12 months. You can't do that and then expect to box at the best of your ability or impress. He's out too much. So I think last night was good in terms of going on to his next fight. I think if he fights Dylan White next, that's a perfect fight for him. And then more rounds again, and then he can go into a big fight. And I would give him a chance of beating anyone. But last night it was just an okay performance, I felt. But when you're Anthony Joshua, you can't afford to have an okay performance.
Yeah.
You know, I take an okay performance every day of the week, but I'm not Anthony Joshua, so he can't afford him. So that's the pressure of being him, I guess. But I thought it was all right. I thought it was a decent performance. Franklin's too small and don't punch hard enough to be any kind of threat. But I thought he did okay.
Now, you said there, like, Franklin, he's tough. Very few will knock him out. In the post-fight interview he did, which you said on Boxing UK quite rightly, that these post-fight interviews are now quite interesting from Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
He said as well, look, I wish I'd knocked him out. Someone from Britain will knock him out. And I thought that was a very interesting thing to say. Who was he referring to? Maybe yourself here? Who was he referring to?
Well, I won't be knocking Jermaine Franklin out, to be honest. I'm not good enough to knock Jermaine Franklin out. Jermaine Franklin is very, very good. You know, I think people make a mistake of, you know the likes of, say, like a Fabio Ward, who may fancy the Franklin fight at some point. Franklin's good, right? He'll give anyone trouble. Maybe Joe Joyce, and Joe Joyce may be the only man I think in heavyweight boxing that could stop Jermaine Franklin, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not sure. His post-fight interviews are great. I like this Anthony Joshua. I like him. Yeah, I like it. He's got an edge to him, and this is probably more the Anthony Joshua. I knew him. I was just my partner for the Olympics and for years after. I got with him really well, so I'm happy to see this side of him. This is what I want to see, and it's exciting. And while the fight wasn't great, I had to tell Steve, give me 10 minutes because I'm not missing that post fight. I want to see what he's got to say. So yeah, it's all fun and games, isn't it? You know, it is what it is, I guess.
Did you also enjoy kind of the little bit of afters too? I mean, people will say online, maybe calling into Joshua's professional side, maybe shouldn't have done that there. It caused a bit of a ringside fracas too with Bellew getting involved. But what about that side of it as well?
Yeah, it's a bit petulant, and it's not. I don't carry myself that way, but that's him being him. If that's what he does, that's what he does. I'm not here to tell a grown man how to behave. You know, loads of people do loads of things that I may not agree with, but I'm more for people being who they're going to be and behave how they want to behave. So, you know, I'm not a school teacher no more, so I don't really care. You know what I mean? I watch some boxing. It's entertainment for me. I'm not bothered what happens. The results make no difference to me. Well, how they carry off makes no difference to me. I'm a paying customer. Entertain me, and you know, one way or another, last night I was entertained. So that's job done.
Now, in terms of the changes we wanted to see from Joshua, did you feel that you got a bit of the flavour, that the blueprint that Derek Chambers is trying to bring and implement in this style last night? And also then the feeling about Joshua's mentality, has that changed? Do you kind of agree that Joshua's mentality about maybe not wanting to get knocked out has changed at all? Oh, can you hear me?
I think it, I wasn't impressed by him,
Hmm.
but he's never going to be great on the eye as a boxer. You know, it looks very unnatural. You know, when he stands up tall and throws his, it just looks unnatural to me. You know, he's a fantastic athlete and very powerful and strong. He has the experience, but he's not fluid. There's no fluidity in it. So for me, like the Usyk fights, I think we all agreed that Anthony Joshua, the stand-up textbook boxer, you know, trying to be something he's not. It just doesn't work out for him. Like last night, I don't think he looked great. I don't think he looked improved. I just thought Franklin was too small and can't punch, so it was only ever going to go one way.
Mhm.
I preferred Joshua the Wrecking Machine. Um, Preferred it then. I would prefer it now. I think he should go back to doing what he was doing before. Probably is a bit gun shy. Well, that happens when you get knocked out. I'm probably a bit gun shy since I got done by Usyk. It happens. It's boxing. It's human nature. You know, it's like when you see an electric fence and you put your finger on it, we're not sure if it's live or not. You're not going to put your finger on it again. So it's human nature, yeah. So he's a bit gun shy. Lennox Lewis went gun shy after McCall and definitely after Rackman. Look at the Mike Tyson fight. It took him forever to get him out of there. You do go gun shy when you get it on the chin properly. So yeah, I want to see the Joshua of old, but I don't think we'll get it. And if we don't get it, he's not beating Fury, he's not beating Wilder, he's never going to beat a Usyk. So I want to see the old Joshua back, but we're not getting it back. But he's still a very, very, very good fighter with what he's doing now because he's very big. He's Olympic gold medalist, so I'm not saying he can't box because he clearly can. He's clearly a world class boxer, but I don't think what he's doing or what he's trying to implement will ever see him become the number one man again.
Do you feel that, look, you mentioned there about Joshua's chances in those big fights, but do you think we'll ever see those big fights after the fight? Joshua said, look, I want Tyson Fury. When fans hear that, they kind of maybe get fatigued of hearing that because we thought maybe the fight would happen, but obviously it's not materialized. But what do you feel will be next for AJ to get that confidence back up? And do you think we'll see those big fights with Fury and the others as well?
I think Joshua will fight anyone.
Mm.
You know, you know what? I like people thought I wasn't a fan of him, and I probably weren't for a long time. But he's won me back round. To be honest, I think he'll box anyone. I think he'll box anyone, absolutely anyone at all. Um, I'm a fan of him for that. Yeah, I think he'll box all of them. I don't think it's him. I think he'd happily box Wilder next. He'd box Fury next. Probably box Usyk again. He's up for anything, the man. So I've got a lot of respect for him on that front. And I think next we'll get Wyatt. I think we'll get the Wyatt fight.
Yeah.
I think it makes business sense for them both. And I think it makes perfect sense to be Joshua's next fight. I think he needs more rounds, you know, and I think it's a fight he'll win. And it's a stepping stone on to hopefully the mega fights. And the mega fights for me is Joshua Wilder and Joshua Fury. They're in my opinion, they are massive. They're the biggest fights of this generation. So, I'm hoping we get Dylan White next, yeah, because it is a massive fight. They are two superstars of the British boxing currently. So I hope we see it, and I think it'll set Joshua up for hopefully give him more rounds and put him in good stead for a big fight at the end of the year.
Now, of these fights I'm going to mention, which one do you think Joshua has the best chance in? Wilder, Fury, Usyk would be a trilogy, and Joe Joyce.
I think I watched him spar Joe Joyce for years. Me, Joe, and Anthony used to spar a lot, and sometimes Fraser Clark as well.
Hmm.
And Joe Joyce was petrified of Anthony Joshua at the time. 2012 to 2016 was petrified of him. I think the box in 2010 and Joshua stopped him. That's a long time ago, but that's still in my mind. That's still at the forefront of my mind. I'm not talking shit either. Like ask Rob McCracken, ask all them guys. Joshua too much for Joyce at the time. So that still plays in my mind now, and I still think he beats Joe Joyce based on that. There's just something there. I just think he beats him. Mm. So I think he beats Joe Joyce, which is probably a big shout. How mad is that? If you'd have told me at the time, if you'd have told me 2015 when I was watching the sparring, that Joe Joyce would be a favourite over Anthony Joshua, which I believe he probably would be with the bookies if you priced it up right now, I would never have believed you, because the sparring was mad, really. Looking at Joe Joyce is an animal. I think he's one of the best heavyweights on the planet. I think Joshua's got his number. I don't think Joshua would beat Wilder, to be honest. You don't want to be like that bit of gunshine we're talking about. That you don't want that against Wilder.
Yeah,
I don't think he beats Fury. If he boxed like how he's boxing now, he'll not beat Fury in a million years, because he ain't going to outbox Fury. And I don't think he ever beats Usyk. I think Usyk beats him 10 times out of 10. But if we had Joshua from the Klitschko fight, I'd make him a favourite for 3 of them 4, and I'd give him a good chance of beating Fury as well. But I just think the new Joshua, the Joshua that boxes, can't outbox Fury and Usyk, and this patient approach. Wilder's going to connect at some point with the new approach he's got, and he'll not beat him. And the Joyce, because I've seen the sparring, I can't have Joyce beating him. But if I'd not seen that, I'd make Joyce the favourite beating him as well.
Couple final things for me, and I'll bring it back to yourself. We had this whole Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk debacle. It's not happening now. The undisputed heavyweight fight. Who would you like to see Tyson Fury in with next? We've kind of always seen Char step in and out of the shadows, and he called out Fury once again once the fight fell through. But who do you think should be the credible opponent Tyson Fury should fight next if it's not Usyk?
Well, it should be Usyk. And as boxing fans, we should all come together and make, and it has to be him. Tyson, he got to box Chisora last time. The credibility, he's losing credibility. If he boxes anyone next, that isn't. If it's not Joe Joyce next, if it's not Joe Joyce, if it's not Usyk and not Joe Joyce, the credibility is diminishing fast. He got Chisora. He got the Chisora fight last time. He got the nice, steady voluntary defense last time. Cannot box Char. Cannot box someone like that. The credibility will be. It's going quick as it is. I've known Tyson a long time, all the time in the world for him. But it's diminishing fast, all credibility. If he goes Chisora and then another opponent, a similar ilk to that, I couldn't defend it. You know, it's bad that he's not boxing Usyk as it is, but it needs to be Joyce, in my opinion. Who else is there? I can't think of anyone that I would think that I'd be happy with. He's the best heavyweight in the world. He's had his soft touch, so should be Usyk. Yeah, to be honest, we shouldn't even be discussing that. It should be Usyk next. There should be boxing next. There's no one else for him. Who else is there for him, really? Joshua and Usyk. That's all that's left for him. Anything else is just a waste of time, and it's just us paying for shit. To be honest, in all complete honesty, you know, Usyk Dubois. I'm intrigued by Usyk Dubois. To be honest,
yeah,
I'm always going to be intrigued by Usyk heavyweight because he's not the biggest. He's not physically the biggest. And I think there's loads of heavyweights out there that can beat him. Did a great job with Joshua, but I think Usyk, he'll be beat him. There's a lot out there that can beat him, Fury included. But with Tyson, if it's not Usyk and Joshua, like, I'm just not interested. To be honest, there's no interest at all.
Fair enough. I think boxing fans will say you pretty much hit the nail on the head in your response there for that one. How about this one? There was the talk is now Dillian White, anti-Joshua, Dillian White, but wind back a couple of days before, the talk was Dillian White versus Derek Chisora 3. Are you someone who wants to see Derek Chisora back in the ring?
It's difficult because this is something that people always said to me, David Allen shouldn't box again. And I always think, for what reason? And I always use Derek Chisora as an example because I had 10 amateur fights and I've had 28 pro fights. I've had 38 fights in my life. I know 12, 13-year-olds have had more amateur fights than I've had combined amateur and pro. So I've not been boxing long. I had some more sparring, but that's about it. So Derek Chisora, all the fights, he had a lot of amateur fights and he's sparred very hard. So, but I'm not a doctor. If he's passing medicals, it isn't for me. I would not dare tell any man how to live his life. I hate when people tell me that I shouldn't be boxing. So I'm not going to come here and say that he shouldn't be boxing, but I've no interest in watching White Chisora 3. Absolutely zero.
Hmm.
And if you ask me if I had interest in watching Chisora boxing most, I would say probably not. But at the same time, I'm not going to say he shouldn't be boxing, because if he passes medicals and that's what he wants to do, then he's free to do whatever he pleases.
Now I'll end back where I did at the start, and you gave your response about the post that you put. But do you really feel that you're forgotten in people's eyes? Because I don't really share that sentiment at all in that heavyweight mix. I think you're still regularly mentioned, and you're still regularly seen as, again, someone credible too.
Yeah, I think I went from I think I'm the most underrated heavyweight in Britain today.
Right.
To be honest, from what I see, I don't think I'm world class. I don't think I'm anywhere near the top guys. But I see lots of things saying Dave Allen shouldn't be in with Wardley. I've been better than Wardley. When I beat Lucas Brown, I got a rating. I think I was 15 in the world. I've been in there with good. I've done 10 rounds with Dylan White after 20 fights amateur and pro. Boxed Luis Ortiz. I boxed Olympic gold medalists. I boxed Olympic bronze medalists. I've never been banged out of there in my life. I've never been put on my backside.
Hmm.
I've been sparring partners for numerous of the best heavyweights this generation. So when I see comments like Dave Allen isn't even domestic level or shouldn't be watching Wardley, it offends me. I was doing all that out of shape. So we'll see. I got a beer in my bonnet. I never got a mention for Wardley on the TV. And I thought, right, Monday, we'll see what happens in the gym Monday. I've got a beer in my bonnet, to be honest, about things. The way, it was my own fault, but if I don't win the British title, I will have underachieved. I was a good amateur, and I should have done so much more as a pro, and it's not too late. So I'm really excited. I'm just a different man now. People that was around me when I was boxing Lucas Brown and David Price and stuff, I just turned 27. I was right up there. I wasn't ready for it. I've got a baby now. I've got a really nice, steady life at home, training hard, professional, doing everything right. We'll see. I don't know if I'm the forgotten man or not, but definitely criminally underrated.
Hmm.
People talk about me like I can't throw a punch. But we'll see. I'll win the British heavyweight title this year. I'm not saying that for talk. I'm not saying that for people. I'll win the British title this year. I think I'm the best. I think I'm the best at domestic level, and I'll happily prove it against any of them. I could have boxed Wardley last night. I could have boxed him at the end of April. I turned it down because I'm not doing any less than 100%. I could have got loads of money. I've turned down so much money last 18 months because I believe in myself and I believe I'm going to win the British heavyweight title. So all that kind of talk, I'm back for the money. If I'm back for the money, I could have secured so much money the last 18 months and you'd never see me again. So we'll see. Got to be in my bonnet. So stop me from talking now before I keep going.
Just a final one for me. Look, you got the bee in the bonnet. You've also got the direct line. Did you send the message to her not to say, look, let's make the fight now, but just to make your point?
Well, I spoke to Ed last month and he offered me the Wardley fight for April.
Yeah.
And I said, Ed, don't go there. I'm not ready. My last performance I didn't think was great. I didn't feel fantastic. Didn't think it was a performance to confidence to beat Wardley. So I said, I'm not ready right now, but let's do it later on. So I'm boxing in May, and after that, I'll be after Wardley. I'll call him out and hopefully get it. And if I don't, a big fight here or abroad, we'll see. I'm back and I'm enjoying it, and we'll see. I've got a lot of people to prove wrong, and more importantly, a lot of people to prove right as well. So we'll see what happens.
Great place to leave the conversation. Always a great conversation with yourself, Dave. I'm looking forward to seeing you back in action soon. Thank you so much for giving me your time. Much more of a time than I asked for as well for Seconds Out. Much appreciated, sir.
Thank you, mate.